The movements that you'll be doing in this lesson, you already know, you just did them. In other words, you've got the form. Your attention doesn't have to be all absorbed into constructing the movement. Now your awareness is a little bit more liberated to go further afield. Please bend your legs, stand your feet. Bend your arms, stand your hands. Start to take your head into the gap to the right, return to the middle, into the gap to the left, and first of all, connect with your own sensations. You see, I just caught myself talking in a way I don't like to talk, but that's all right. Connect with your own feelings of yourself, your own perceptions about yourself. Feel yourself moving. And right back on that first day, I think one of the first beliefs that I gave you was that Feldenkrais believed that most people are alienated from their bodies. In other words, they're not very skilled at perceiving what they're doing, how they're doing it. They're out of contact. So please establish that contact for yourself. Because if you can't care for yourself, you can forget trying to care about somebody else. Matter of fact, if you can't care for yourself, you're actually not fit to care for somebody else. So come into contact with your own needs first. Make yourself comfortable. Make it easy. Make it light. Make it elegant. Make it aesthetically pleasing. And then once you start to connect with yourself, you can then ask yourself, okay, am I still in form? Am I still directing the back of my head through the gap? Yes, I am. Is it going in that little spiral? Yes, it is. That's connecting to the form. To the what of what you're doing. Now, please continue. Please continue. Go at your own pace, but open your eyes, and as you move yourself to the right and as you move yourself to the left, you will see in your visual field those around you. Just note, yes, there's someone there, there's someone there, and there's someone there, and there's someone there. So first of all, just note it. No big deal. And so now you visually know that you are surrounded by others who are doing something like you're doing. And then keep your eyes open and start to ask yourself, are they in time with me, or am I in time with them? Yeah, absolutely. So just keep your eyes open and ask yourself this question. The way I'm timing my own movement, are they in time with me, or am I in time with them? Which is a kind of back and forth question about a set of relationships that exist between you and the people next to you in time. Are you rolling at the same speed or at a different speed? Are you in the same moment in the movement or not in the same moment? It doesn't matter if you look a little bit different, that's fine. We are all a little bit different. But in reference to the form of the movement, is the timing the same? Are you in a different moment in the movement? Now, please pause a little bit. Pause a little bit. And roll onto your front, lie on your tummy. Have your legs long. Have your arms in that push-ups position where you know you could flop your elbows to the floor if you need to. And now start to make that movement of taking your face through the gap. And first of all, attend to yourself. And, make it feel possible, which you already have exceeded. Make it feel easy, light. Make it feel elegant, simple. Doing only what's necessary and nothing else. And then make it completely aesthetically pleasing for yourself, which is like the ultimate self-connection. It's not selfish, actually. It's what you need to be able to do to know what it's like to care for yourself. It's a feeling, and you're generating a feeling. And then open your eyes and let your awareness visually expand and notice that there's someone to the right of you, there's someone to the left of you, there's someone above you. Or maybe not. For some of you, there'll be someone below you. And for some of you, there won't be anybody to the left of you. And others, there won't be anybody to the right of you. But there are people around you. So, is it possible to shift your attention from you to out there, from inside contact, outside contact, inside contact, outside contact? And this outside contact is more than just the ground or the mat that you're lying on or the feeling of the temperature of the air conditioning. This outside contact is the contact with other human beings, even if it's only visual. And then start to notice, are you moving in time with them, or are they moving in time with you? So I was watching a documentary on dogs a couple of weeks back, and I heard something that just dog owners and dogs' heartbeats actually fall into rhythm. And if you know anything about dog physiology, you know that a dog's heart beats quite rapidly, you know, at a much faster rate than a resting rate of a human being. But, you know, a dog and his or her mistress or master, their heartbeats fall into rhythm. God, they're not even of the same species. That's a very interesting kind of connection. Stop, pause for a little bit. I once had the opportunity of working with actors over several semesters in a movement course. And I was quite nervous because I'd never worked with actors before. So I thought, okay, what am I going to do? And I thought, I think I'll ask them to hold hands and walk around the basketball court, getting them to tell each other what they did on the weekend. Which is, of course, they were quite happy to do that. So off they went. And they held hands and they walked around the basketball court and they chatted, blah, blah, blah. But you could see they were really engaged in the conversation. And then I looked carefully, and each one of the couples, each one of the pairs joined at the hand were in exactly same sync with their feet strides. As one person's heel landed on the ground, their partner's heel landed on the ground. They were in complete sync, but they didn't intentionally do it. It came from their connection through speech, and it came through their physical connection through their hands. And I didn't design it that way. It just happened. I went, oh, that's really interesting. Now, if you're comfortable doing this movement, lying on your tummy and taking your head through the gap on the tummy, do that. If you'd like to take your head through the gap lying on your back, do that. Choose one. But know that you are free to change if you wish. Good. And now start taking your head through the gap. The size of the movement now is of absolutely no importance. It's the quality of engagement with yourself. Now, as I said, that's not a selfish thing. A lot of people say, oh, you're so self-absorbed, such a selfish person. I'll come back to that. Unless you know how to care for yourself, well, you're not really fit to care for anybody else. And when I say that, I mean at a very deep organic level, not superficially. Continue doing what you're doing, open your eyes, and let your contact with others be visual. And see if it's possible to start to tune in to how the person next to you is moving, and they'll tune in to how you're moving, and gradually over time, maybe you'll start to be like those actors who fall into sync, not because they intentionally fall into sync, but just because they're really deeply in conversation with each other. Now, given that you're not talking, you can be deeply in connection with each other through your visual awareness. And so without any external regulation, without the beat of a drum or the clicking of a metronome or the slapping of a teacher's thigh to indicate a rhythm, you can fall into unison. I don't know why they call it a fall. You can come into unison by willingly paying attention to each other. Not because you have to, but because that's something you're interested in. Take your time. Don't try to make it happen. But keep aware of the people next to you. Extend your field of awareness to include them. And they will do the same for you. They will extend their field of awareness to include you. And something might emerge from that. One thing that might emerge is that you start to actually feel connected with each other. A second thing might emerge, which is far less important than the first thing, and that is you might start to move in unison. The unison comes out of connection. I've experienced something like this myself on a few very rare occasions, dancing in an ensemble. And I can share with you something that Melody told me. I'm sorry she's not here, but she said her favorite way of playing is to work in a small ensemble. Because in an ensemble, it's not one person that's leading, it's the whole ensemble, it's the whole group sound that becomes important. People who sing in choirs report the same thing. It's you're kind of surrounded by sound. And you have your place, and others, you're feeding back from others, it's toing and froing. And you feel connected through this vibration of sound. Well, there can also be this visual connection. You know, dancing in an ensemble, and you suddenly realize you know where everybody is. And they know, and then they say to you, did you feel that? I knew where you were. I didn't even have to think that I had to catch you at that moment. You just kind of arrived and I was there. It's magic. So this is what you're getting in tune with here. This capacity to be connected with others through your awareness, in this case visually, and yeah. Stop. Pause. Just be with yourself. But perhaps when you stop and you're pausing, there might be a little trace memory. Yeah, such and such is over there, and that person's over there. And without you even having to think it very much, you know that there are others around you that have been sharing in a certain kind of an experience. Whew, that's pretty nice. Reflect for yourself this last 2 weeks, both in this room, outside of this room. You don't have to constrain yourself to your experiences that happened in here. And is there something that happened in that time frame where you could say to yourself, you know, I really love that. I really, really love that. That's an aesthetic experience. That's what you're aiming for in every lesson. Doesn't matter what it is. And it can only come if you care. You don't care, doesn't come. Please find a way for yourself to come up to standing. And before it slips my mind, I'd like to thank very much Jenny for organizing this training. But more than that, without her constancy, I'm going to use that word, without her constancy in offering trainings and offering environments through which myself and others could learn, I wouldn't be standing here in front of you. So, thank you very much. And second of all, if this is true, if this is really true, then everything that I've said to you has come because we are here together, and you trigger in me things that before I go through that door, I'm going, oh shit, what am I going to say? I don't know what I'm going to say. Yeah, so that happens. So for me, this is really true. It really resonates. And hopefully that's happening between you guys as well. Yeah, you bring out of each other something that alone might not happen. That's really powerful. So thank you very much for you being you. And I'll see you use in January. Oh, in Zoom, yeah. I'll see the yous in Zoom. All right. Thank you. Cheers.